Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us here on SA Today. ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule is conducting a door-to-door campaign in Lenasia. This is for the 2020 by-elections. The ANC Youth League Crisis Committee is also expected to address media. For an update on this, we're now crossing to our reporter who is there, Samkele Maseko. I do understand you are with the Secretary-General there where you are at the moment, but something that we always hear, whenever there are service delivery protests, whichever community that we go to as SABC News, we will without fail hear the people saying that, they rebuke door-to-door campaigns, they hate door-to-door campaigns, and that political party leaders come to them humble during that time when they are campaigning, and then after that nothing is done. So I'm very interested in the fact that here we are having a door-to-door campaign. I mean, what's different this time that the ANC is doing in Lenasia, Samkele?
Essentially, Flo, what's happening is that there's a door-to-door campaign as there's by-elections coming here in Lenasia. In November, the ANC, as you'd remember, doesn't have the outright majority to govern Johannesburg. And this particular ward, you'd remember when the ANC took over the city of Johannesburg, a DA councillor voted with them, and that DA councillor came from this specific ward of Lenasia. So the Secretary-General was essentially called by the Provincial Executive Committee of Gauteng, and also there was a directive by Luthuli House led by the Secretary-General that all ANC, NEC members should be all over the country campaigning for the ANC in the by-elections in preparation for the upcoming 2021 local government elections. It also comes amongst some issues that have plagued the governing party. You've seen those tweets by the ANC NEC member, Minister of Transport Fikile Mbalula, with his spat with MKMVA. You've seen former Umkhonto we-Sizwe combatants in KwaZulu-Natal basically bringing that city of eThekwini to a halt by stopping all activity in the town, marching towards the provincial office of the ANC. The Secretary-General descended upon that particular province last week with the president of MKMVA, KB Maphatswe, to engage with them. Now you've got the ANC Youth League Crisis Committee basically taking legal recourse against the ANC, calling for the disbandment of the NYTT, which they term the eldership. But I'm going to bring in the Secretary-General of the ANC, Ace Magashule, to speak on their door-to-door campaigns, particularly going towards the by-elections in the country. Mr. Magashule, just the essence of the ANC embarking on door-to-doors for the upcoming by-elections in the country.
Well, throughout the country, there are almost 94 by-elections. Some of the candidates or councillors have passed on during COVID period. Some have resigned, like a lot of DA members. And the ANC is occupying that space. Throughout South Africa, we have set our regions, our provinces, our branches, and the national leadership, including the top 6, must actually touch base with our comrades, with our people on the ground, to motivate and encourage them to continue voting for the ANC so that we continue with our work of ensuring and making sure that we have a better life for all.
These by-elections come at a time where your former Umkhonto we-Sizwe combatants are unhappy that they have not received service delivery. They are left to languish in poverty, just along with many South Africans who are staying in informal settlements. How have you resolved the issue of taking care of former Umkhonto we-Sizwe combatants?
Well, a lot of former Umkhonto we-Sizwe combatants, comrades who fought for this freedom, we understand their grievances, we understand what they are actually asking for. And they have been, wherever we have been, they have been very peaceful, they have been engaging, and we have actually agreed that the welfare of such members of Umkhonto, whether they are MK, MVA or MK Council, they are all MK comrades. And we agreed that where we have done, because they agree that we have done a lot for them, we must still do a lot for those who still face challenges. Like all South Africans who are facing challenges of unemployment, of jobs, of housing, of electricity, they were actually pleading with us. And I think they are very reasonable in terms of what they actually asking the leadership of the country to do. And we have communicated with them, wonderful meetings.
You look at the comments by the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, saying that KB Mapatswe and former MK combatants such as Karl Niehaus are essentially looking at looting resources of Metro Rail when it comes to infrastructure and security. Is there any essence to what the minister is saying, that KB Mapatswe and Karl Niehaus just want to have their own security companies chowing millions out of PRASA?
I don't know whether KB Mapatswe or Karl Niehaus have security companies. What I know is that we will engage on all the issues. And in South Africa, if you don't report crime, you yourself, you are committing crime. Because any offense or crime must be reported. And I'm sure ANC matters are internal matters. And we are pleading with everybody, from Comrade Mbalola to KB Mapatswe to Karl Niehaus, that discuss ANC issues internally. And I'm sure as the ANC will continue dealing with matters that way. Very patient, because that's leadership. Leadership of the ANC, it's a simple, humble leadership. No arrogance about leadership. No issues in the public, because we can do that, all of us. It's not the right thing to do.
When you look at the ANC, you said that you'd be engaging the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula. Have you engaged him, or are you calling him towards the top 6 meeting tomorrow to explain himself?
Well, ANC matters are ANC matters. We discuss them internally. I know the media want to set the pace and tempo of our struggle. We shouldn't allow the media to do that. We should, as the ANC, do things the way we want to do things as an organization. Our pace and tempo must never be determined by the media.
Where did it come from, SG, that you are going to be arrested by the Hawks?
Well, let's leave that matter. I think it has been a matter out in the public. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I haven't done anything wrong. Let's leave it there.
Are you running scared that they could be grabbing you right now as we speak, since they see where you are?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm here. I'm a South African. I have nowhere to go. I stay in this country, and I'll continue doing my work as the ANC member, ANC leader, Secretary-General, to unite the African National Congress and South African society.
When you look at the issues, your legal team has written to the NPA and to the Hawks seeking some answers as if there's a pending arrest against you. Have you gotten a response?
I don't know. My lawyers, I'm sure I'll engage them. I see things in the papers, and let's leave it there.
In the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, we are seeing that the commission is also circling in some former politicians and those who may have had the same perspective going towards Nasrec. The likes of Zandile Kumete, Super Zuma, they are also being circled to go to the Zondo Commission of Inquiry. Are you happy with this commission and the work it's doing?
Well, the commission is there. Let them continue doing their work without any bias, without any favor, without any fear. Be objective and don't actually listen to the noises all over. Focus and do your work professional and effectively.
What's your view of the commission wanting to see the bank accounts of the former president's children?
I don't think it's a matter for me to comment on.
SG, the Youth League Crisis Committee says it's taking the ANC to court over the issue of the NYTT of the ANC Youth League, saying they can't look over the matters of the youth when they are old.
ANC Youth League Crisis Committee?
Yes. SG.
What committee is that?
It's a committee led by young people of the ANC who purport to be members of the African National Congress. One of them is the spokesperson of the Minister in the Presidency, Nongceba Mhlaule. You've got people like Bashman from the Western Cape who are part of this Youth League Crisis Committee. They held a briefing outside Luthuli House saying they're taking the ANC to court over the NYTT.
Is a structure of the ANC Youth League is a structure of the ANC. So the ANC National Executive Committee is dealing with that matter. We don't need any crisis committee for now because the ANC is dealing with this matter. Can comrades start being disciplined, and can comrades respect the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress? That will be my message to all youth leaguers in South Africa.
What is your view on the arrest of Edwin Sodi and all of the asbestos-linked individuals in the Free State contract whilst you are still Premier of the province?
No, I don't know anything. I was not handling this matter, so it's not a matter for me to comment on.
Do you think they should be behind bars and arrest for their sins of not actually delivering on removing the asbestos contracts?
Remember, I can't judge anybody. I'm not a court of law. Let's leave law enforcement agencies to do their job.
Do you think the Hawks are arresting Hollywood-style arrests?
They should never do that because that's what we fought against the Scorpions. and it's not the right thing to do, because in the public eye, they actually find you guilty. Can they act responsibly for all of us, for all South Africans? It doesn't matter how strong they feel.
What do you think is currently driving these arrests and what is purported to be this Hollywood style of arrest by the NPA and the Hawks and the Investigative Directorate?
I'm sure that the question is relevant to the law enforcement agencies which are doing all these things.
On the preparations for the National General Council, have the ANC discussed how you're going to be unfolding the process since now political activity is opened in the country?
Yeah, next year we will definitely have an NGC, because it is the year before we go to the national conference. So the NGC is an important event, and I think the National Executive Committee has agreed that let's look at the COVID situation, and as it unfolds, sometimes next year, the National Executive Committee will still determine the date, the month, but it will definitely be 2021.
SG, when you look at some of the media headlines in the country today, it speaks about the president being keen on the privatization of certain rail routes in the country of PRASA. The ANC National Conference in Nasrec spoke against the privatization of SOEs. You look at the partial privatization of SAA. Is your government going against the resolutions that you took at Nasrec about 5 or 8 kilometers from here?
Well, I read what the media is saying. I haven't heard the president saying all these things which the media are alleging. So I don't want to respond to media allegations, media speculations, media reports, because most of the time they are not accurate.
Thank you very much, Secretary-General of the ANC. We wish you well in your campaign and hope you get your desired, and I'll be there should the Hawks decide to come to your house to nab you.
Let's wait and see.
Well, that is the Secretary-General of the ANC saying, let's wait and see, not saying that he's not about to be arrested or not to be arrested, saying his legal team is dealing with the issue of the NPA and the Hawks.
I never know what to say to you, Samkele, when you get like this. But in any case, thank you very much for that conversation that you had there with Ace Magashule. And certainly we'll keep in touch with you while you're in Lenasia today, while the ANC campaigns for the 2020 by-elections. We'll catch up with you later on. Thank you very much, Samkele Maseko there in Lenasia, in the south of Johannesburg, attempting there to engage the SG on a number of issues relating to himself and the party, asking at the end there about the Hawks, and of course asking if Ace Magashule is indeed concerned about the Hawks wanting to arrest him, and also talking to him about issues relating to the Umkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association. Remember that Ace Magashule has been quite involved with them. Earlier this week, he was indeed in KZN engaging with members of the MKMVA. So we'll certainly give you updates if there's anything more to discuss relating to the ANC campaign in Lenasia South, in the south of Johannesburg. Samkele Maseko there for us. Well,